Hey everyone, how are you doing? So you've been told you have shoulder pain, maybe impingement, or your shoulders are tight. And then we actually go to test your shoulder function, and we may do something, say, like this, or like this. Well, today, on going deeper, we're gonna look a little deeper at actually what does the shoulder actually do? How does it do it? And most importantly, how are we assessing it to find out how we can help you? Because if we're not assessing, we are guessing. We don't want to guess with your health. So hey everyone, welcome back, Bob Finelli. So let's talk about the shoulder a little bit today. So the shoulder, and what we're really talking about is the scapula, the humerus, and the acromion process. This is the shoulder joint, okay? And the shoulder joint and the shoulder does amazing things. First of all, it can go front to back. We call that flexion and extension in the sagittal plane. It can go side to side. We call that AB and adduction. And it can go around behind you and rotate across in front of you. We call that horizontal AB and adduction. That's a tremendous amount of motion that the shoulder needs. And it's important to understand that every time I move my arm, sometimes when I move it up, it's going to bang into these bones. Sometimes when I move it sideways, these bones are going to bang together. For me to be able to do that motion and not experience pain, this big shoulder blade has to move out of the way. It's got to go. If I come up here and this doesn't move, bang, I get what's called impingement. It hurts. What's important to understand is I'm never just moving directly in one position. Even when I'm moving like this, the shoulder can be moving out a little, it's coming under, it might actually be rotating depending upon where my hand position is. That's why a lot of the time with shoulder pain is people come up higher and higher. Here's where they start to get the pain. And you may even see them finish the motion by doing something like that. If we want to help their shoulder and if we really want to assess it, we have to understand that that's not really going to give us a lot of motion. It's also not very functional. And that is just a little too limited. We need to go deeper. We need to say, okay, shoulder, how much motion do you have here? How much motion do you have here? And how much motion do you have here? Oh, and by the way, shoulder, I understand that when you move, you're going to move the trunk. That's going to move the abdominals. That's going to move the pelvis. That's going to move the femur. That's going to move the tibia. So shoulder, it looks to me like if I'm actually going to test you, I kind of want to look at your whole body too. Because shoulder, when you're doing that, if you look down at my hip when I move my arm, it automatically wants to move to help my shoulder. It doesn't stay still unless I force it to. So here's some food for thought. I go to move my shoulder, I have a tight hip, and then I keep cranking specifically through my shoulder when my shoulder says, actually, my rotator cuffs, I'm kind of small. I'd really like that big hip muscle or that trunk to come around with me. And those things are tight, but your shoulder raises its hand and says, hey, listen, I'm getting picked on. So it's important that you look at me, but understand you got to look everywhere with everyone else because I'm part of a chain reaction. And when force gets trapped in me, I look to pass it out. If you're having shoulder pain and you're struggling with it, I can help. Reach out to me.